Hi guys, welcome back to another video in this channel. Today we're going to be talking about game assets and we're going to be talking about modular assets. So if games is something that you want to get into, I think this video is going to be really cool for you, because even if you have absolutely no experience in 3D, I can assure you that you're going to be able to complete this exercise. It's super simple. Well, you might need a little bit of experience, maybe just like the basics of 3D, just like extrusion and stuff, but we're going to keep it super simple. No ZBrush, no Substance Painter, just like old-fashioned 3D modeling skills. Okay, so yeah, let's go. Now, some of you were mentioning that you guys liked the gameplay thing that we did last week, right, with Elden Ring, and I think we're going to be doing that quite a bit. Someone suggested in the comments yesterday, I think, or 2 days ago, that it would be cool if I started like playing a game, and then while playing I explain like how things are made, and then try to make them on the 3D software. So that's what we're going to be doing right now. So if we take a look at Elden Ring, and we take a look at. I don't want to open the game right now. It's takes a little bit to load. And if we take a look at the first zone, let's see if we can get like a nice picture here. There we go. So on the first zone, one of the things that you're gonna find are fences. Not only on the first zone, like this one's right here. See those ones? Like those wooden fences, just traditional, basic wooden fence. How can we make a wooden fence that will be, one, modular, two, very optimized, and three, looks really good, like PBR ready? Well, we're just gonna have to model it here inside of Maya. Now, before I start modeling here, I do wanna explain a little bit of the concepts behind, like, why are we doing what we're about to do. Let me just get my tablet here, because you guys know I love to show not only how to do it, but why we do it, right? So if you think about it, the only thing we need for a fence are like 3 posts or poles like here, and then like the little like things that go in between, right? But if we were to model, sculpt, texture, UV, and everything, this fence right here, it would become pretty boring, because we would see the same fence over and over again. So the way game environment works, or one of the things that game environment does, is they create something called kits. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna create a kit with 4 posts. Just this like big 4 posts, and then probably like 4 long elements like this. And then we're probably gonna have like a couple of like broken ones, like this. And then what we do is, once we have all of these things together, they are all gonna be sharing the same like a UV map and the same like texture map. We just need to assemble and create like option A, option B, and option C. Okay, so imagine we have like one fence where both rows are like complete, and then we have another fence where we have like one broken row over here, and then another broken over here, and then maybe we'll have a fence where both of the rungs are like broken, and then both are complete. And we can create even more variations. Like right now I'm just doing ABC, we're just gonna do 3 of them, but you can do as many variations. And this video is actually gonna have a second version. We're gonna be doing some very cool like visual programming inside of Unreal Engine 5. I'm gonna show you how to create a dynamic fence that you can just like drag and have as long as you want. It's gonna be pretty cool. But first we need to do the defense, right? Now, one of the first things I always tell my students is you need to work in real world scale. That's fundamental to everything that we do for games. What is real world? Well, that means that if I were to drop a cube right here, just a simple cube inside of Maya, this cube is 1 by 1 by 1 on its scale. That's 1 centimeter. Maya works in centimeters. So if I were to bring this cube into Unreal Engine 5, it would be really small, and that's not what we want. So I'm gonna change the size of this cube to 180 on Y, and 50 and 50 on or 80 and 80 on X and C. This is roughly the average volume that a human occupies. So this is going to allow me to understand how tall and how big I want the fence to be. So this is going to be my human reference. I'm going to call this size ref. I'm going to create a new layer over here and make this a template, so that we can't interact with. It's just gonna be there. It's just gonna be like a visual guide, and that's it. Some people hate having this like super small like grid. I don't know why it makes it such a big deal. Like I remember when I first was a student, I also had this sort of fear like things were gonna like fall off or something. It doesn't happen, of course. So you just go here to display grid, and the units that I recommend for Unreal are 100, 10, and 1. And that way the grid's going to be a little bit closer to what you would expect. If you want this thing to be like exact to like Unreal, like if you want each square to be like 1 meter, you can change the grid size to display grid is I'm going to say 1,000, 100, and 10. Actually, just 1. There we go. So now each square that you see here on the grid is 1 meter. So that way you can also like pinpoint and find where things are going to be like landing. So let's start with the poles, and the poles are just going to be simple squares. Just like squares like this. How tall? They're probably going to be like, I would say 120 units tall. I'm going to press D on my keyboard and then V to snap the pivot point down onto the like lowest point, and then press W again and press X to bring this up. Let me actually turn on the little Karnak thing so you guys can see the shortcuts. So that was, again, D to move the pivot point, and then V to snap it down there, and then X to snap it up. And there we go. Now, I want each of these elements to be 2 meters apart. But that doesn't matter right now. Right now, I just need to create the kit. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, of course, I don't want all of them to be exactly the same, right? That would be quite boring. So let's add a little bit of like a change to the whole thing. And again, I'm going to try to keep them as like low poly as possible. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bevel all of them. And well, first of all, I'm going to combine all of them. And I'm going to bevel them. The reason I'm combining them is just so that when I do the bevel, all of the bevels apply at the same time. There we go. And that's going to give me the effect right there. Now, in Elden Ring, I did saw that the artists were very like precise, and they actually created the holes in between the elements. So I'm going to show you here real quick how we can do that. I'm just going to create now the planks. I'm going to create the planks now. So probably they're going to be like 20 centimeters, I think. And not as thick. Usually they like planks are like 1 inch thick, and 1 inch is like 3 centimeters. So I'm going to go 4 just so that it's not like super small. And lengthwise, we just mentioned that we want this to be like 2 meters, right? So we're going to say 200. And that's going to be like my plank. So there we go. Now I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to bring it to this side, to where the poles are. I'm going to position it where I would like it to be. And then duplicate this again and bring this down. I'm going to grab these 2 guys and combine them. And then I'm going to grab this guys, then this guys. And I'm going to say mesh, boolean, and difference. And what that will do, as you can see, is it will like cut out from the element. Now, the problem if I leave it like this is that the fit is going to be super tight. So actually, one thing I'm going to do before that is I'm actually going to make these things a little bit bigger and a little bit taller. Okay? That way, when we position this guys in there, there's going to be a little bit of like wiggling room. Okay? So again, grab this guys, mesh, booleans, and difference. And that's going to create that. Some of you might be, but Abraham, haven't you mentioned that endguns are really bad? Yes, but not in this case. The endguns are not super bad, especially if you're going to triangulate things. For instance, for this guy right here, I just need to say mesh, triangulate, and as you can see, everything becomes triangulated. And now we don't have any issue. Like, things are going to work just fine, okay? Now, for this ones, we're also going to be beveling. Give them a small fraction. There we go. That's going to be my plank. And the only reason I like to bevel stuff is to get like a nice little effect right here. And I'm just going to hit Control D. Move this down. That's going to be 2 of them. Let's say Control D. Move this up. That's going to be 4 of them. That should be more than enough variation. Remember that the little kit that we were creating. And now I'm going to create a couple of like broken ones. So to do the broken ones, I'm going to use this tool right here, which is the cut tool. And I'm just going to like cut like this and like this, for instance. And let's do another cut like this. So now I can select these faces and just delete them. And we're going to get this sort of like fraction right here. The only thing I need to do is I need to make sure that this thing goes back to the other side. So I'm going to bridge from one side to the other. And that's going to give me like this sort of like fragmented look like this. And you can, of course, remove the pivot points or the fragments here and there just a little bit if you want to like give them a little bit of variation. We can even go like this. Oh, let's say like this, and then like this. And I'm going to create like this sort of like triangular shape. There we go. That's going to be another section right here. Let's, again, bridge from one side to the other. Bridge from one side to the other. Bridge from one side to the other. And bridge from one side to the other. There we go. Now, for instance, this one, I don't want to break. I just want to like create like a different shape. So I'm going to add like a couple of options there for the vertice. And I'm just going to like modify the shape there a little bit. Maybe even here. So it's like a kind of like a crooked like effect. And of course, I mean, you can even go here and bevel it. This is of course going to add a little bit more geometry to the whole thing, but as long as it's not like extreme, we should be fine. As you can see, we're not even past the 1,000 triangles on the whole scene, so we're perfectly fine. I'm just going to add a couple more like points right here. Grab the birdseas. Let's just move this like really down like there. There we go. And that's it. Now we have again 4 poles, 4 planks, and 4 like broken planks right here. Now comes the fun part. I'm gonna grab everything here. I'm gonna say mesh separate, so they each like all of them are separate pieces. Mesh separate. There we go. Shift P to make sure that all of them are out of any parent groups that we have. And we're gonna delete history, break transformation, center pivot, like all of the usual things that we do. And that's it. Now for the UVs, I'm just going to keep it simple again. I want everyone to be able to do this. So this is not the cleanest way to do it, but it's going to work just fine for this example. I'm just going to say automatic mapping. And the reason automatic mapping is going to work so well is because these objects are all square, or like they came from like a square, as you can see right here. So when I hit Control L right here, it's going to lay everything out. And as you can see, all of the pieces are pretty much laid out like cubes, right? So everything is working. I can turn this on. And as you can see, the UV map is not distorted anywhere, not even like on the broken pieces. So everything is working perfectly fine. Again, not the cleanest way. Actually, it's relatively clean. We have a lot of cuts. We could simplify the amount of cuts, and that's of course going to help the performance. But so far, it's not that bad. Now, as you know, we have this very cool site, which is called Polyhaven. And in Polyhaven, we're going to be downloading this wood texture. This I think we've used this before, but in case it's the first time you're seeing this channel, well, welcome to the 3D world of Nexttut. Make sure to subscribe and like. That's always helpful for us. And I'm just going to go here to the options, and I want to get the AO roughness metallic. I want to get the diffuse. I don't need displacement. We don't need that one. And we definitely need normal GL. I'm going to get both of them, GL and DX. DX is DirectX, that's for Unreal. And normal is, or GL is OpenGL. That one's for Maya. We don't really need the roughness because it's going to be here on the roughness channel. So yeah, we just hit download and that's it. Now, normally when we're working in the, what's the word? In Maya, of course, we work with everything of these things in our like scenes. So let me navigate real quick to our folder. There we go. So here in source images, I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this wood planks, just so that I know that everything is going to be here. I always get this error. I don't know why it happens with this particular textures. It's quite annoying, but there's this error where if I'm downloading things, I get this sort of like weird stuff. Yeah, it's broken again. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. I don't know why that happens. It's quite annoying, to be honest, but it's I think it's my zip like software. I know a lot of people use WinRAR. I'm trying to use 7zip or WinZip because it's supposed to be free, but it's not giving us the best result. Anyway, let's go. I'm gonna navigate. I'm navigating real quick here to our source images folder again. There we go. And here in our wood planks, this is what we want, right? Like the textures that we're using. So back in Maya, I'm gonna grab all of the elements here, right click, assign a new material. I'm gonna go into Maya. Actually, I'm gonna go into Arnold. I'm gonna assign a AI standard surface. Let's do the history. And this one we're going to rename. I'm going to call this, what's the fence? Wood fence. M_wood fence. There we go. And now we're going to go to this option right here. If you've never gone here, this is the hypershade. This is where all of the texture work happens inside of Maya. It's really simple. It's not that simple. It actually takes a little bit of time to get used to it. But I'm just going to select the material right here, gonna here into the options, and I'm just going to drag and drop the 3 textures that we got. So that's the, as you can see, this is the arm, is ambient occlusion roughness metallic. This is the diffuse, which is the color, and the GL normal map. Not anything else, the GL normal map, which is this one right here. So the diffuse, that's the color. That's very easy. It just goes into the color map. The ambient occlusion roughness metallic, it's going to be divided into the 3 channels. So I'm going to click this little icon right here, which is the plus sign, so that we can see the 3 channels that the image has. And there's information in each channel, right? We've talked about this before. The red channel has the ambient occlusion, which is something that we can multiply against the color. It's not going to really make a difference right now, so I'm not going to use it. But we definitely do want the G, which is the roughness, which is going to go here into the specular roughness. The B is the metallic. We can plug it into the metalness. There's no metal map, as you can see. Like this is just wood. There's no metal. But look at that. The material is already looking quite nice over here. And the one that's going to really bring this thing together, it's going to be the normal map. So I'm going to press Tab key on my keyboard, and I'm going to type in normal. And we're going to get this one, which is called the AI normal map. So from the out color, we're going to get this into the input. And from the out value, we're going to get this into the normal camera. And what this will do is, as you can see right here, we're going to start getting some like scratches and bumps and stuff on the wood. So now if I go here, ta-da, we have all of this. But there's a huge problem. And that's the fact that the texture is going the other way around. Now, Maya nowadays has this thing which is called the color correction, or like open color or something. If textures look too dark, just change this to on tone map sRGB, and they should look a little bit like cleaner. So I'm going to select all of the elements right here, and we're going to go UVs, UV editor. And to rotate these things like nicely, I'm just going to grab all of the shells, go here to transform, place the pivot point on the center, and then there's an option right here to just rotate, which is here. So just rotate once, and there we go. So now all of the elements are going to the other way, and as you can see, we get this very nice effect. Now, I do see that the grain of the wood's a little bit too big, just a little bit. So I'm going to go to the options here, to the hypershade. And on the place to the texture node, on all of the textures, I'm going to repeat the UVs twice. What that will tell me is it will make the texture repeat twice. These are tileable textures, the ones that we get from Polyhaven. So now our elements are going to be even nicer. They're going to have a lot more stuff. And since each individual object has a different place on the UV map, all of the textures are going to be slightly different, which is going to be great for us because that way players won't be able to tell that things are the same, right? Like they're the same model. Yes, they're the same model, but they have different UV spaces or UV places. Now it's time to start assembling things, and I'm just gonna grab everything here and move it to the side, and I'm gonna start with the poles here. So I'm gonna press X, which is my snap to grid, and we're gonna snap it right there, and then I'm gonna grab another one, Control D. Actually, yeah, this one I actually want to Control D as well. So that one's there, and then the second one, Control D, that one goes there, and let's grab this one, Control D, and then that one goes there. So that's the 3 main poles that we're gonna have. And then I'm going to grab like this 2 guys right here. Again, Control D. Let's move them. And let's position them inside of the little holes. So remember, we made the holes slightly bigger so that when we place these things in there, they would feel a little bit nicer. So this one definitely needs to go a little bit lower. There we go. As you can see that they pretty nicely fit inside of the elements, and they're creating some very nice effect. Now we can grab these 2 guys again, but instead of grabbing those 2 guys, let's grab the other 2 guys, like the bottom 2, so that when we duplicate this thing, we get this sort of like different effect, right? So same deal, let's just position that one right there, and that one right there. And that's it. You guys have created your first fence for a video game. Now, the only thing we need to do is grab all of these guys and combine them into a single object. Very important. And we're going to rename this fence, or just to be more precise, wood fence A. There we go. I'm going to press H on my keyboard to hide it, and let's do another one. So let's go to the front view again. Now let's start with this one right here. Again, X, Control D, X, and then Control D, X. And another thing you can do to make sure that they're not, or they don't look the same, is we could like rotate them 180 degrees. That way the texture is going to be looking to the other side. And again, the effect is going to be slightly different. Now I'm going to grab one broken piece and one complete piece. Let's bring this one right here. This one's going to go right there. And this one's going to go right there. Let's grab another one of the clean ones. And again, to give it the more variation, let's rotate it 180 degrees. And we're going to get it right there. And I'm going to grab like this broken one. Get it in here. And to give it a little bit more realism, of course, let's rotate a little bit so it's kind of like resting like this, right? Oh my god, it wouldn't be an episode without me sneezing. Right? Someone mentioned yesterday that I always sneeze on the videos, and I'm sorry. I've had allergies for years now, and every spring they get worse. So yeah, this is fence number 2. So again, grab everything here. I'm gonna combine. I'm gonna call this wood fence B. I'm gonna select both of them and just delete history so that all of those transformer groups get deleted. Hide that, and let's do another one. So again, front view, Control D, X to snap it to the grid. Let's get that one there. Oh, Control D, because we always want to have like the original kit available in case we need to like reuse it or whatever. So let's do that. Let's turn around that one as well. And now let's use like this one and this one. Control D. This one, now I think I had it like on the top before, so again, let's rotate this 180 degrees and get it right there. I'm gonna grab this one, bring it down here. And we could even grab like 2 of these guys, for instance. And have this one like slightly falling out like this. And then let's grab like this one, have it here. And again, no problem, just like, for instance, grabbing this and rotating this 90 degrees. And that's it. Cool, so we grab this one, combine, delete history again, select the name, and this is gonna be wood fence C. I'm gonna grab all of these guys right here, the original kit. I'm just gonna Control G to group it. I'm gonna call this fence kit. And you can do more things with this, by the way. Like, it's not only like a fence or fences that you can work with, but now, yeah, we have our 3 fences ready to go. So I guess you guys can imagine that if we're in a game, we can have like multiple of these fences, and we can again like multiply them or duplicate them, rotate them 180 degrees, and they're gonna look slightly different than the ones that we had before. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of variation. So if you're a player and you're going like through this sort of effect, you're not going to notice that they're the same. It's very difficult. I mean, you're of course going to know this because if you see them a lot, it might be very apparent, especially with like this very specific cuts. But at least when you're focusing on the gameplay and you're trying to survive an enemy like in an Elden Ring, then of course this is not going to be as noticeable. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the way to build a kit. This is again very simple kit. It only took us about 20 minutes to get this done, and this is like perfectly valid to go into any game today. So if you want to start your career as a 3D environment artist, this is a great exercise to do. Of course, we can texture this to make it look even better, but I think this is a really respectable model. So yeah, that's it, guys. As I mentioned, we're gonna have another go at this one. I'm gonna show you the little like scripting thing that we can do inside of Unreal to create like a dynamic fence that we can control. And but that's gonna be on, it's probably gonna be on Wednesday, because tomorrow, actually not Wednesday, that's probably gonna be until Thursday, because tomorrow, by the way, we're gonna have our live stream. We're gonna continue with the lighthouse. I know a lot of people have been asking about that one, so during the live stream we're gonna do the lighthouse. The live stream will be at 10 p.m. Mexico time. Okay, it's probably gonna be 10 a.m. India time. So if you guys can tune in, then you're welcome to join and talk. I'll be answering questions and stuff, but we're gonna be focusing on the lighthouse. So tomorrow, it's going to be Tuesday for me. It's going to be Wednesday for most of you. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Mexico time. Okay. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you very much. I'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.